Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Theravada Buddhism series, Dhamma Talk 81. Post-nascence condition, Pacchajata Paccayo. This is one of the 24 conditions Buddha taught us in Patthana, Pali. This particular one is, in Pali, is only 4 lines. So I'm going to recite it just to get the audience become familiar with Pali sounding. Pacchajata Saita Sedrika Dhamma Pureja Tassa Imasa Kayasa Pacchajata Pacchena Pacchayo. That's how it runs in Pali. And the formal translation in English is: the post-nascence consciousness and mental factors are related to this pre-nascent matter by post-nascence condition. So, this is post-nascence condition in Pali and English. And again, I like to remind the listening audience again. I learned these from my teachers. All that I heard and known, I'm just simply relaying the message. I'm not a scholar. I don't profess to know these things in and out. Simply doing a messenger work for the English-speaking audience. In Burma, there will be hundreds of thousands of people who know about this much, much better than I do. Being said, let's see what does that 4 lines mean so that we can comprehend a little better. Consciousness and mental factors that arise after the pre-existing materialities are related to the post-nascence condition. Okay. Here it is. Consciousness and mental factors, they arise. But they arise only after the matters. Matters exist before, and consciousness as mental factor arise after. And these two groups are related to each other by post-nascence condition. The conditions that arises later support or cause the continuity of pre-existing conditions and are related by reciprocally causality is called post-nascence condition. Again, explaining again what post-nascence is. The conditions, we know what conditions are. Consciousness as mental factors. They arise later than something before. They support and they cause the continuity of the pre-existing condition, something that exists before, but this consciousness and mental factors maintain, support, sustain, and cause the continuity so that they can live longer. The pre-existing conditions. We know what pre-existing conditions are. Materialities or matter. Matter that exists before are maintained, support, and caused by the consciousness and mental factors that arise later than that matter. Something that arises later is causing. Something that exists before to be able to maintain and live and exist longer. And that condition is called post-nascence condition. So, what are the causes that arises after the pre-existing matter? We already said it in general. They are consciousness and mental factors. Now let's go a little deeper. We all know there are, in general, 89 types of consciousness. Out of that 89, 85 consciousness of the 5 aggregates realms. 85 consciousness that arise in 5 aggregates realms has this post-nascence condition. We are explaining further. What kind of consciousness? 85 out of the total 89 that are common to the 5 aggregate realms. Has the function of this post-nascence condition. So there are 4 that does not apply. So if we know that 4, we know the remaining are the players in this condition. What are these 4 that do not include in here? They are resultant consciousness of the 4 immaterial realms. They are resultant consciousness of 4 material realms cannot play this role, because the realm is a arupa realms, or immaterial realms, or mind-only realms, all one and the same. They are 4 realms. So, full resultant consciousness of those 4 realms cannot play this role, because those realms have no material. But this one has to have a relationship between mind and matter, consciousness and body. So we exclude those 4, and the remaining 85 all plays their roles in this condition. Now we know there are 52 mental factors, cetasika, and all of those 52 mental factors perform this function. So we now know what consciousness and what mental factors play this post-nascence condition. 85 consciousness that exclude 4 resultant consciousness of the immaterial realm, and the 52 mental factors play this role. These consciousness and mental factors support or conditioned or caused the continued existence of the body, or you can say materiality, that exists before they are arising. They arise only later, but they become the cause of the continued existence of the body that has existed before their arising. Something that comes to be later is causing something that exists before. It sounds strictly tricky, but if you think about it, it's quite clear. That's why it's said reciprocally. Consciousness and mental factors cannot arise without the matter. And for the matter to continue to exist, it cannot do without the consciousness and mental factors. They both are supporting each other, reciprocal. So, in here, just a few minutes ago, you heard the word 5 aggregates realms. Okay, 5 aggregate realms. So let's touch on this 5 aggregates. What are these 5 aggregates? We all know body, feeling, perception, mental formation, and consciousness. Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, and Vijnana in Pali. Those are 5 aggregates. And we have altogether 31 different types of realms. These 31 types of realms can be divided into 3 divisions. One division is 1 aggregate realms. In that realm, only 1 aggregate exists, one of the 5. What is that? Materiality. Only material exists in that realm, and that is the body-only Brahma realm. Those Brahma exist only as material. There's no consciousness. That's a one aggregate realm. And second one is four aggregates realms. Four aggregate realms are the four immaterial Brahma realms or mind-only realms. Those Brahma has no body, but they have the mind, four aggregates. What are they? Feeling, perception, mental formation, and consciousness. Those are all mentalities, the mind. So that is another realm, one aggregate realm and four aggregates realm. And the third one is five aggregates realms. In these realms, all five exist. Without those five, they cannot be born in those realms. Beings cannot be born in those realms. So, the five aggregates realm is, we have altogether 31 minus 5 that we just said. One aggregate realm has 1, four aggregates realm has 4, 5. 31 minus 5, 26. The remaining 26 belongs to the five aggregates realms. So, what are these five aggregates realms? There are 11 sense sphere realms. Do you still recall our past lectures? 11 sense realms are 4 woeful planes, 1 human, and 6 devas, celestial beings. 4 plus 1 plus 6, 11. 5 sensuous realms, and the 15 material realms. There are altogether 20 Brahma realms. Mind only take 1 out. Body only take 1 out. Mind only take 4 outs. So 20 minus 5, the remaining 15 are material realm. In other words, these Brahma has material, both body and mind. But these materials are super fine. So 11 plus 15 are 26. And post-nascence condition applies, or they functions in these 26 five aggregates realms. All that we are doing is trying to know a little bit more about this post-nascent, where, what they are. So we keep talking about more like technicality and the domains. Let's try and understand it with using simple example that we can comprehend easily. Most or all of us know that reforestation. Okay, people cut down the trees for wood and business, and then later they replant those areas so that that area will not become washed out and then barren. they replant new trees in those areas. And that process is called reforestation, replanting trees. Okay? Reforested area has many planted trees. They have to grow it in nursery, little plants, about a foot tall, 1.5 feet, 2 feet tall. And people take it and plant it in those areas where the forest has been cut down. Those they replant it. And these little trees their existence and their growth depends on the availability of water. If there is no water, eventually they will die. But if there is water, they will grow. But when we plant it, it's just there. We just plant it, sit in the ground. And the rain that comes later after the trees are planted that rain sustains these plants, support and conditions their development. Without the rain, they will die. With the rain, they will keep on growing. Rain is the cause. And the pre-existing tree before the rain, staying alive and growing and thriving, are the result. Cause and effect, cause and effect. But the cause comes later than the effect. That is how the cause, rain, which comes later, supports and conditions the pre-existing trees to grow as a result or effect. So that example clarifies better what post-nascence condition is. Now we use trees, so it's, oh yeah, trees fine. Let's use human being to look into this example. Let's say there's a coal mine and the coal mine collapsed and trapped scores of miners underground for weeks, 2-3 weeks, depending on how difficult to dig them out. And while they are trapped there, they have no food, no water, but for weeks. And when the rescue team came down after about 2 weeks to that spot, the miners are still alive. Yeah. But oh, it's a miracle. That's what most people say. They were there without food and water for 3 weeks, but they are still alive. Miracle. The miners are still alive with the hope of surviving, because they know they would not be left alone there. Somebody is setting up a rescue team and digging the way through. There's a hope. With that hope, they survive without water and food. Simple explanation. But let me put in the Dharma term. What is that hope? hope is the 85 consciousness and 52 mental factors. Hope is one word concept. Now you know minds and matter. If you break it down in detail, it's 85 consciousness and 52 mental factors. The minors are sustained. The minors' bodies were sustained with the hope that contains 85 consciousness and 52 mental factors. These are arisings after they were trapped. So, that is another explanation. One with material, 3. Second is both mind and body, human. Now, we keep talking about materiality. We didn't dig in a little bit deeper. We dig in a little deeper in the consciousness and mental factor already. Materialities, they are full of them. The reason they are full of them is each one of them is caused by different condition, caused by different situation. One materiality in our body is caused by karma, actions of a past life. Second type is caused by consciousness, citta. And the third type is caused by climate, uttu. When we say climate, let's call it straight out. Temperature and humidity, hot, cold, and humidity. That also produce materiality in your body. Let's call it the cells in your body. The matter in your body. And the third one is caused by nutrition. So the causes are different. Even though we think there's one matter or one cell, within that there are 4 types of materiality combined, caused by karma, consciousness, temperature, and nutrition. These materialities are sustained, supported, and conditioned by the consciousness and mental factors. They are already there, but their continued existence depend on the 85 consciousness and 52 mental factors, which arises later, which arises after they are existent. And also we should know, we already knew, let's refresh it. The lifespan of a matter is 17 times longer than that of a consciousness. Let's say a consciousness arises and passes away in 1 second. The matter will arise at the same time but died or passed away only after 17 consciousness are gone. That's a fixed ratio, lifespan, 17 to 1, matter and mind. So let us look at this condition, post-nascence condition, as a thought process containing 17 thought moments or consciousness. We know thought process, VT. There are 17 types of consciousness, comes and goes in a fixed order. So let's look from that point. Each movement consists, okay, even though we say 17 movements, but each movement consists of 3 parts. The beginning, existing, and the end. So let's call it, these are the 3 mini moments of a consciousness. A consciousness has only one moment. Appear, disappear. But if you go deeper, that has 3 parts. In Pali, it's called Uti Bin, arising, existing, and disappearing. So in fact, 17 thought moment has 51 mini moments. So we try to break to that point so that we can explain or understand what's going to follow. The first consciousness in our life is rebirth consciousness, also called relinking consciousness. We are just using the words that we have discussed it in past lectures. Rebirth consciousness, relinking consciousness. That is the first consciousness of a being in a life. And that rebirth consciousness is followed by 15 or 16 life continuum or bhavanga. And then of course came the mind or adverting consciousness and so on, all 17 of them. I won't go through that in detail. So that is what the consciousness at the moment of rebirth. And there are 30 types of materiality that arises together with the relinking consciousness. At the same time, there's a rebirth consciousness and there's a materiality. 30 types. They call it kalapa. So, a little materiality, but there's 30 of them, 30 different things. And those two, rebirth consciousness and 30 types of materiality, are caused by karma. Karma of your past life causes that materiality. Very specific. And that matter produced, that matter has temperature. And that temperature produces a materiality at the second moment of the rebirth consciousness. You remember 3 mini moments: first moment, second moment, third moment. And the first part of the relinking consciousness, materiality of karma is born. In the second mini moment, materiality produced by temperatures born. The one temperature is one mini moment later. These are all explained by the Buddha. We don't know. Even the elders do not know. Only Buddha can see to that level. And after relinking consciousness, that one arises and gone. After that, bhavinga consciousness or life continuum consciousness arises. Second consciousness is bhavinga, life continuum. At the beginning, the first mini moment of that first life continuum consciousness, materiality due to consciousness arises. This is the third type of material arising. Materiality produced by consciousness. The first one is materiality produced by karma. Second one is material produced by temperature. The third one is the first mini moment of the first bhavinga is material produced by consciousness. And then there's no fast and hard order. Within 14 days, when the nutrition from the food the mother ate, of course, when the nutrition starts spreading to the, let's call it the rebirth unit. When the nutrition starts spreading to the rebirth unit, materiality due to food or nutrition occurs. That one is no very specific, because depending on what kind of food one's eating, what kind of digestion process, how healthy the mother, maybe that varies. So it's set within 14 days. It could be 7 days. It could be 10 days, but no more than 14. And also, the matter caused by karma, don't think that is the only time it happens. The matter caused by karma keeps on multiplying speedily in the first half of life. Let's say our lifespan is 100 in general. For the first 50 years, that matter produced by karma keeps on multiplying, keeps on multiplying, keeps on multiplying. That 30 goes on to 60, 90, 30, 60, 90, 30, 60, 90 repeatedly. In other words, they have a great momentum of growth up to 50. And in the second half of life, let's say 51 to 100, they slow down. Because in the first half of life, the karma, the energy, the power of karma, momentum of karma is strong, so they keep multiplying. And in your life, the karma is starting to used up, so they become weaker and weaker, and the growth of the karma-producing material becoming less and less and less. The karma wanes. There are multiplicity of karmic producing materials slow down, slow down, slow down, and eventually cannot produce anymore. That's how the materiality of karma operates in a life span of a person. Temperature and nutrition keeps on producing the corresponding materiality. Same thing. When you're young, your body temperature is pretty warm and strong. When you get old, your hands, your legs starting with, they become cold and cold and cold. The temperature waning. That means material produced by temperature also disappearing in those parts. And the nutrition the same. They are all operating in their own line. They are function accordingly. But they are all maintained and supported by the 85 consciousness and 52 mental factors. But they maintain only after these 4 types of materiality come into existence. They came into existence before. And after that, these 85 consciousness and 52 materiality maintained it. I wonder that is Jiva Indriya, life force. I wonder, I don't know. So, these sustain, support and condition the materiality and their development or lack of. This process, reciprocal conditioning. Why reciprocal? Without these matter, these 85 consciousness and 52 mental factors cannot come to be. And these 85 and 52 doesn't keep on doing their job. The material will be dead. In other words, a person is dead. So they have the reciprocal conditioning causal relationship. That reciprocal causal relationship is called Post-nascence condition. In Pali, Pacchajata, Paccayo. I hope all of you understand what post-nascence condition is. This is the best I could explain based on what I have heard and learned from my teachers. May all of you be able to understand the relationship and that conditioning process of mind and matter, and may you be able to attain Nibbana by practicing mindfulness and sight meditation as soon as possible. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you very much.